This episode of I Am Salt Lake podcast is proudly sponsored by Jed's Barber Shop. With 3 locations, you have no reason to not always look your best. Go get a haircut, a beard trim, or even a straight razor shave. Jed's Barber Shop is open 7 days a week, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m., Saturday, 9 to 7, and Sunday, 12 to 5. Their newest location is located at 167 East, 900 South, right next to Randy's Records. They also have a location downtown at 212 South, 700 East, and up in Sugar House at 2153 East, 2100 South. No appointment is necessary. Just show up, get yourself a haircut. Maybe you have a last-minute date or a job interview. Jed's Barbershop is the place for you. Head on over to their website at jedsbarbershop.com for more information.
Showcasing local talent, professionals, and everyday people making Salt Lake City what it is today. It's time for another episode of the I Am Salt Lake podcast.
All right, I want to welcome everybody out today to episode 301 of I Am Salt Lake podcast. My name's Chris Hollifield.
And I'm Chrissy Hollifield.
On today's episode of the podcast, we sit down and chat with author of the book, Gypsy Energy Secrets. Her name's Milana. I'm not going to even try to pronounce her last name. Hey, we thought this would be a great episode to bring you right before Halloween because we talk about misconceptions and whatnot of the gypsy culture. Of course, we also find out what brought Milana to the United States and eventually what inspired her to write a book.
Yeah, I think growing up, I didn't even realize gypsies were real.
Oh, yeah.
I thought they were just kind of a mythical creature.
And we get into that on this episode. And,
yeah.
You know, when Milana reached out to me and told me her story before we brought her on the podcast, I'm like, this would be a great person to bring on the show.
Yeah.
The fact that she lives right here in Salt Lake City, she's had all this other upbringing, and now she's in Salt Lake City. Perfect person to bring on I Am Salt Lake podcast. Hey, if you haven't taken a moment to sign up for our email list yet so that we can stay in touch with you, take a moment, head on over to our website, iamsaltlake.com. That's where you can sign up. Right now, it's about halfway through on the website.
Just on the right-hand sidebar.
We're going to be doing some giveaways and whatnot that only those of you that are on the email list will have access to. Mm-hmm. So you're going to want to make sure to get in there. And it's a great way to stay in touch with us and have some access to some things that other people don't have access to.
It's the VIP club.
Hey, we all run into those events that we need a photographer. Maybe it's a family get-together. If you have a work holiday party, if you're a comedian, you need some headshots. Or if you're like Chrissy and myself, we needed a top-notch wedding photographer. I want to invite you to check out the photography of local photographer Amanda DeWolf. She's the one, like I said, who took all of our wedding pictures, and I know I was really happy with how they came out. You can check out all of her work by going to her website, amandakmemories.com. Again, that's amandakay, memories.com. All right, let's jump into that conversation that we had with Milana when she came over to our office, shared her story. Thank you so much for listening. Enjoy. Where's home for you? I guess I'm kind of eager to find out a little bit about your culture and about where's home for you. Where did you grow up?
I grew up in Estonia.
Estonia.
It's a small country on the Baltic Sea. It used to be part of the former Soviet Union, but then it got independence in 1991.
Wow. So what was your process of coming over to America and in America to Salt Lake?
I entered a contest, a writing contest.
In Estonia?
At that point, I was already in Russia, in St. Petersburg.
Okay.
And the prize for the first place was the trip to America.
Really?
Where in America? To Salt Lake?
No, to a small college town in Missouri.
Wow. Really?
Yeah. And there were thousands and thousands of applicants. And somehow they picked my essay. And
how long ago was this?
Oh, it was in 1994.
Okay, so quite a few years ago.
Yeah. And then they had an interview with me. And they said, "Why do you want to go to America?" And I said, "I don't want to go Because it's too scary.
Really?
Keep in mind, propaganda on Russian TV was very negative.
Towards America?
Yes, unfortunately. Wow. Unfortunately. And so what I watched on TV was very, very sad. People living in boxes on the streets.
Oh, wow.
And I was kind of, okay, so if I go, I have to be really prepared. I had 2 bags. In one of them, I had a pillow. You know, if I have to sleep in a box on a street, at least I have.
Because you kind of thought that might be
pillow.
what your option would be.
I didn't know where I would end up.
So you didn't even have a place lined up to live?
Nope. No. I had a cup and a spoon and some warm clothes, a dictionary because I didn't speak English well. And I kind of just went for this adventure.
Wow.
Was it a trip to visit, or was it they'll send you to America and you can stay there?
They gave me a scholarship to go to a university. And so I didn't have to think about paying for the education.
Now, remind me, what university was it again?
University of Missouri, Columbia.
Okay.
Yeah. And from the minute I stepped down from the airplane, it was like being on a different planet.
Really? What was the biggest difference that struck you?
People were smiling.
Really?
In Russia.
Not a lot of smiles in Russia.
If you are at a party, yes. But on a street, no. In a store, no. So everyone was friendly and smiling, and I was confused.
Were you skeptical?
I didn't know how to react.
Yeah.
You thought everybody was out to get you, maybe, right? Like rip you off maybe a little bit? Like because you couldn't trust anybody. You were like, I don't know. Something's not right.
I thought for a second maybe they know me, but no, they don't. What do they want?
Like, why are they smiling?
Why?
Yeah.
And it took me some time to kind of realize that they don't want anything. It's just the way people are.
So then you went to the University of Missouri. Mm-hmm. How long were you there?
For 3 years.
Okay.
Yeah. And again, everything was completely different. In Russia, if you go to a restaurant, they give you a meal on a small plate. It is very small. So first time I went to a restaurant, I was very hungry. I just landed from a 24-hour trip. I ordered 3 entrees.
Thinking they would be tiny.
The waiter double-checked and asked, "Is it all for you?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm hungry." They brought me huge plates. I mean, it wasn't 3 big plates. There were 3 humongous plates.
Wow. Did you eat it all? That's the important question.
So I didn't know that I could take it to go because, again, in Russian restaurants, it's not good taste. You come, you eat a little bit. No one takes it with you.
Is it bad manners to take it with you in Russia?
Yeah,
really?
It is.
It's good to know in case I ever go over there.
In case we go to Russia.
You know, no doggy bags for me in Russia.
Because you don't go there to eat. You go there to, relax.
Sure.
Yeah, kind of socialize.
So what do you remember? What was the restaurant? Do you remember where it was? Or it does. I guess it doesn't really matter. I was just curious.
It was in this small town called Columbia. I don't even remember the name. But yeah, the waiter was shocked. I was shocked.
Everybody was confused.
It was cultural shock.
So did you teach yourself English then, or did you take some classes at the university then, or how did that work out? I mean, because you obviously do a great job. I mean, you're excellent English.
TV and a dictionary.
TV and a dictionary.
Wow, really? That's the secret.
Any favorite TV shows?
Friends.
Friends.
Oh my gosh.
We just started watching that.
We just started watching Friends.
Chrissy has never seen the TV show Friends.
Nope.
I was like, Chrissy, you have to watch
I'm
this.
like the only girl my age who's never seen it. So
what did you study there? Writing?
Journalism.
More journalism.
Yeah,
and
because I love to write. Writing for me is something that makes me happy.
Always been into writing? Always loved it ever since
first grade.
First grade?
Yeah.
Wow.
Just short stories and...
Inspirational stories, myths, legends, fairy tales.
Oh, yeah.
So what brought you to Salt Lake then?
An airplane.
Well, no, but I mean, did you have, like friends here, family in Salt Lake City? I mean, Salt Lake City of all places.
I got married.
You got married?
And my husband got a job here
Okay.
at the University of Utah. And when I came here, I looked at the colors, at the mountains.
Was it fall when you came?
It was end of August.
Yeah. Beautiful.
And I realized this is
How long ago
my
was
home.
that approximately?
20 years ago.
About 20 years ago. Okay, so quite a while. You've been in Salt Lake for a while. You've seen a lot of change here then, I guess.
I started living like in a small bubble because I didn't know anyone. I was at home. I was raising my daughter. And then she grew up. I divorced. And I started going everywhere.
You started getting out and meeting people?
Meeting everyone. And I realized that it is so diverse.
Did that surprise you?
A little bit. Yeah. It was like I was living in a box.
Mm-hmm.
Were there a lot of Russians here back then? Because the Russian community is pretty good and big here now, is it not?
Yeah, it is. And that's where I was in the beginning. I limited myself to the Russian community.
You kind of have to find people who have similarities with you to really get comfortable somewhere.
Yeah, but then I had what you can call a near-death experience.
Share that. What happened?
I used to be a figure skater, and I skated at the 2002 Olympic Games opening ceremonies here in Salt Lake.
Oh, wow.
And it was beautiful. I was on top of the world, but then an accident happened. With the blade of my left skate, I sliced my right foot.
During the Olympic opening ceremony?
Right after.
Oh, okay.
And I couldn't walk. It was the most difficult thing for me in my life. I was so depressed, I thought about ending my life. I was in pain all the time, and no one could help me. Western medicine could not. Alternative medicine could not. And I think that's when I reached the very, very bottom of a terrible, painful well. I had that experience of completely leaving my physical body and going into the most beautiful, blissful state. I don't know how to describe it.
Like an out-of-body experience.
There are no words.
Mm-hmm.
Feeling connected to everything and everyone, yet still being myself.
Is that kind of what led you to write your book, Gypsy Energy Secrets then? Would that be a good segue to get into that?
That's how it started. Because after I re-entered my body, I started having the most unusual experiences. I started having dreams that would later come true.
Right, revelations, almost.
I don't know what they are called. I started getting information in my dreams with names of people, addresses, things to do. I can't explain it.
Were you raised in the gypsy culture, or is it something that you found along the way?
My ancestors on my father's side are a gypsy by nationality.
Is it Romani?
Romani. Yes, correct word is Romani. And my ancestors on my mother's side are Russian.
Okay. So you're technically Russian Romani.
Yeah.
Isn't there a whole group of Russian Romanis?
Yes.
Okay.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah.
And so I had this strange experience because two cultures are very different.
Yeah. And you got to experience both growing up?
One is very secretive and closed with a lot of rules. This is the Romani part of me. And the second one, the Russian part, is kind of anarchic. No rules, open, kind of the opposite.
So for people like me, this was really interesting when I heard about you and started researching you. I was the kind of child who grew up every Halloween and actually dressed up as a gypsy. I was always fascinated with them, and as a kid, I'm like, they're just beautiful. I just want to be a gypsy. But twofold question: do you deal with a lot this time of year? And how do you feel about that? I mean, what do you think you can bring to people information-wise who are just really fascinated by your culture?
So last year during Halloween, my friend dressed up as a gypsy, and she said, "Oh, I am a gypsy." And I said,
No, you're not.
"You are not gypsy by nationality." And she said, "What do you mean?" I said, "Well, gypsies came from India, and about 1,000 years ago, they started moving from India to Europe. And it's nationality just like being French or Japanese or American or Russian. You can't say, oh, I'm Japanese. You can say, I'm fascinated by Japanese culture and I'd like to wear a Japanese costume."
Yeah.
And same with the Gypsy or Romani culture. You can say that I'm fascinated. And I'd like to wear a costume, but saying I am a gypsy is kind of strange.
Is it fairly offensive?
I don't get offended easily, but for some people,
Yeah.
of gypsy nationality, it is.
Well, and I know gypsy tends to, in some people's eyes, be more of a negative term. They prefer Romani.
Romani or Roma. Yeah.
So
Because most people think of gypsies as living in like caravans and stealing from people, right? Isn't it? But that's kind of a misconception of the whole gypsy culture.
Unfortunately, yeah, it's a stereotype. And some people have a different stereotype of gypsies being dancers and fortune tellers.
Yeah.
And just like any other nationality.
you have your own culture.
There are doctors, there are journalists.
What do you find to be the biggest misconception that people bring to the table?
The worst one is when people use the word gypped. This is extremely negative because it refers to gypsies being thieves or tricksters.
Well, yeah, that's what I was, curious. And I think a lot of people just don't realize that is bad.
Right. It has become just a slang term that people are not even aware of what it is or what it means.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully we can dispel that today. We can get rid of that myth right here on the podcast, right here on I Am Salt Lake.
That's right.
So, I mean, would you consider yourself a gypsy?
In the Romani community, once I leave the community, I kind of leave that, I don't want to say title, because, of course, Roma, I think it's an honor to be Roma. But I chose to leave the community. So it's difficult for me to say that I am a gypsy or I am Romani.
Because you've moved on and you live a different way now?
I started living in a different way, yes. I still feel it in my blood, in my personality. And I can say that I feel I belong to that culture. I belong to Romani culture. My ancestors are Romani. But also have Russian culture and Russian ancestors. So it's a very difficult concept for me. I go back and forth. I don't know. Maybe that's how everyone who has several ancestors, several nationalities, several groups of people they come from, that's how they feel.
Yeah. Did you grow up experiencing a lot of that, though, through your father's side?
I would go back and forth. I was a fortune teller when I was a kid.
Is that something that you kind of learned, or is it something that came naturally to you?
I think it was in my blood. I think it was natural because my great-grandmother was an exceptional fortune teller.
Really?
She predicted her own death.
Oh.
Like pretty accurate.
Oh, to the minute. My great-grandfather, her husband, asked her if she could give him a son. She had 3 daughters. And she said, no, please, don't tell me. Don't ask me. And he kept asking. And she said, well, I can, but I'm going to die during childbirth.
Oh, wow.
And he said, No, you will not. I'm a doctor. He was a doctor. She was a fortune teller. He's a doctor. Unfortunately, that's exactly how it happened.
Wow.
Yeah. She died during childbirth, giving birth to my grandfather.
Do you have a pretty big family, a lot of brothers and sisters?
I have 2 brothers and 1 sister.
Do they all still live over in Russia, back home, or did they come to the United States too?
My brother lives in Moscow, and my sister and brother, younger brother, live in Seattle.
Okay. Do you make it home to Russia very often, or no? It's probably pretty expensive to fly back home, you know, to get back. Do you miss it at all?
I don't think so. My home is here.
Well, you've been here a little while.
Yeah.
I want to start talking about the books, and I mean your book that you have, and all the cool things about the book. But I want to take a break really fast. We're at a point to about take a break, play a message from our sponsor, and then when we come back, I want to talk about your book, Gypsy Energy Secrets, kind of get into that. Mm-hmm. So hang tight. We'll be right back. This episode of I Am Salt Lake Podcast is proudly sponsored by Jed's Barber Shop. With 3 locations, you have no reason to not always look your best. Go get a haircut, a beard trim, or even a straight razor shave. Jed's Barber Shop is open 7 days a week, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m., Saturday, 9 to 7, and Sunday, 12 to 5. Their newest location is located at 167 East, 900 South, right next to Randy's Records. They also have a location downtown at 212 South, 700 East, and up in Sugar House at 2153 East, 2100 South. No appointment is necessary. Just show up, get yourself a haircut. Maybe you have a last-minute date or a job interview. Jed's Barbershop is the place for you. Head on over to their website at jedsbarbershop.com for more information. Let's talk about the book, Gypsy Energy Secrets. Is this your first and only book you've ever written?
Yes, it is.
How long ago did you write it? How old is the book?
I started 10 years ago, but I published it in December of last year.
So it was a really long work in progress, kind of a labor of love.
Yes, I wanted to combine storytelling, fairy tales, myths, legends, and my own experience and experience of my parents and grandparents and great-grandparents. So there was so much I wanted to put into that book.
What's the book? I mean, what's the basic, for people listening, how would you describe the book? What is the book about?
How to turn any bad day into a good day.
It sounds like everybody should get that book, really.
Yeah.
I mean,
did this really, the inspiration for this come from personal experience?
Yes, definitely. I believe that really, really bad things happen to really good people. It is just life.
Yeah.
It's kind of creating character, right?
Maybe it's for us to learn, to grow, to know how strong we are. We can find many different spiritual reasons for that. But on a basic level, resilience is what makes us strong. When bad things happen, some people give up and kind of just go into that negative doom and gloom.
What was the tipping point that inspired you to start writing this book?
Overcoming my injury.
Yeah, that
Okay.
back to the ice skating injury, I guess.
Yeah, because I was told I would never be able to walk. I would
Really?
never be able to heal. There was nothing anyone in the world could do.
Well, you obviously walked in here okay. You didn't look like you had a limp to me.
I never would have known. And so what did you do to actually get over that? How did you?
I had a dream. And in that dream, I was given a name of the person, an island in Hawaii, to go to visit and ask for healing. And I did just that. And I met a lady, and she told me 6 months on 100% raw food.
Really?
Nothing cooked, nothing boxed, nothing canned. Plants, vegetables, fruits, nuts, seeds, flowers, grasses, fresh.
So a very almost vegan raw food diet.
Yeah.
No meat, nothing.
Nope.
Did it work?
It did.
Well, I guess obviously. Right? What exactly are Gypsy Energy Secrets then? What exactly does that mean?
So we have 4 areas in life: physical, mental, emotional, spiritual. And there are tools to make each area amazing. We have sympathetic nervous system and parasympathetic nervous system. The first one is fight or flight.
Is that the parasympathetic?
This is sympathetic.
Sympathetic. Okay.
Think about it as stress, tension, depression, negative thoughts, negative emotions. Everything is bad. And we have rest and digest, parasympathetic nervous system. Think about it as relaxation, joy, happy thoughts. Part of parasympathetic nervous system is a vagus nerve. Vagus translated as wanderer. And gypsies or Omar say, we are wanderers on this earth. We wander. Surprisingly, what makes the vagus nerve strong, what makes us bounce back after something bad happens, the tools that we can use to make it strong are the same tools gypsies or Roma used for centuries to get better.
That's all in this book. Mm-hmm.
Every page has a tool for you to bounce back as quickly as possible, no matter what happens. And this can be physical, emotional, mental, spiritual. Doesn't matter. There are tools for you to get back into the joy.
Were these tools that you actually grew up learning? So
Yes.
you kind of had them ingrained in you?
Yes.
That is impressive.
These are the tools that my ancestors used for centuries and centuries because they didn't have access to medical care. They didn't have access to psychologists, psychiatrists.
Yeah.
And they had it really tough in life.
The Romani history is very oppressed.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very difficult. And so something had to be done. And over centuries, Roma discovered the most amazing tools, quick and effective, to heal the body, the mind, the heart, and the spirit.
I'm curious, have you heard from anybody that's bought in the book and they've told you any of their success stories?
Yes. Tons
of them. Tons.
The most impressive ones are on Amazon.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I guess the reviews on there.
Reviews. Yeah. And I am very happy that my readers heal. They heal from physical diseases, from depression, from anxiety. They find their purpose in life.
Wow, it sounds like I need to read this book.
I know,
Chrissy.
right?
Yeah.
That sounds wonderful.
So you can get the book on Amazon. Is it in any local Salt Lake City bookstores, or I guess it'd probably be best to get it on Amazon?
Amazon, yeah.
Yeah, and I'll put that link at iamsaltlake.com with this episode. I mean, check it out. Check the reviews. There's a ton.
Yeah, and it's
there.
electronic and paper.
So you can get it for the Kindle.
Yeah.
If you need
yeah.
it. Okay.
Kindle Cloud. You don't even have to have a Kindle. It's on any electronic device.
Any plans to write another book?
Yes, I am writing advanced Gypsy Energy Secrets.
Oh, wow.
So these are for people who would like to get on a different level of health and well-being. So the tools in this book are for anyone. You can use anything. They're very simple. Advanced ones will be more difficult.
For
That's
people
why
who are
advanced.
dedicated.
Yeah, and who already know the tools in the first book and who are very good.
So they'll work. The two books will work together.
Yeah.
When is that book? Do you have like an estimate of when or is it still a work in progress?
It's still a work in progress, but the idea, just to give you an idea.
What's the hardest thing about writing a book?
It's not just putting the words on the paper. keep an open mind while you're listening. I charge the words I put on the paper. The process of reading changes you. You don't have to understand how it's done. You don't have to even believe it. But it's like a talisman. It starts changing your life automatically because the words are selected very, very consciously.
And then on top of this book, you actually do fortune telling. Is that an accurate term?
Or psychic readings.
Psychic readings and
spiritual
healing.
Guidance. You can use any words. When someone walks in for a reading.
Now, walks in where? Do you have an actual shop here? A storefront?
In my house.
On your house. Okay, so you do them out of your house here in Salt Lake City.
Yeah.
Okay. So, wow. Well, gosh, maybe I should come and get one.
I know. This is sounding great. We should. Is it the same as kind of a wellness thing? Is it all in one that you do for people, or are they separate?
People walk in with a certain problem, and it can be physical or emotional or mental or spiritual, but something keeps them stuck. They can't get back to their joyful, happy self. Something happened, a bad event. They can't get over it. And so I am able to see past their struggles into what can help, what I can do to help.
So you help them overcome whatever current block they're working against in their life.
I let them see their blind spot, what it is that they don't understand, but they can't overcome it. And by me showing it to them, I don't do anything. I just show the lesson.
What's the best way for people to contact you about that? Through your website?
Through my website, gypsyenergysecrets.com.
Yeah. It's a great website, by the way. We're on there. I mean, there's some videos on there.
I know. It's really informative.
And it looks like you even offer some training programs.
I offer training videos. I offer special bracelets charged with energy. Yeah.
Talk about your training program that you offer on there. What exactly is that?
So we forgot in this modern world that ancient world has a lot of magic.
Like a lot of truth to it.
Many people don't like the word magic. They think either about Harry Potter or magic for show. What I think when I say the word magic is that feeling of awe. That this life is not just to wake up, go to work, feed the kids, go to sleep, repeat, rinse and repeat. There is something hidden from us that we can learn to see. And once we see it, every minute becomes meaningful. You're doing the dishes, but you're not doing the dishes. You're playing with soap bubbles.
It's kind of like looking for the positive in everything that's happening.
Yes, but not just positive, but living like every minute matters. If you are stuck in traffic, put on good music and dance.
Mm-hmm.
So many of us, we get so wrapped up.
We do. We allow stress to overcome us.
I know I do.
Oh, for sure. I think that's
sure
just what No, I mean, for sure, all of us do.
Yeah.
Everything you're like, oh, I got to get this done so I can get on to the next thing. And you're constantly worrying and thinking too far ahead and not actually enjoying the journey.
Yeah. And all you need is a change in your attitude. Thinking about everything that you do is play. Everything around you has a hidden meaning.
It feels like you're really calling on the energy, like the energy of the universe constantly, really.
Yeah, because if you choose, you can see messages in the clouds, in animals that you meet, in every person that you talk to. You can see magic. I love this word. Every minute. This is just a change of attitude. You start saying, what if? What if something really amazing is going to happen to me? What if today I choose to live differently? Notice little things. Pay attention. Pay attention to the colors around me, sounds, smells, people. you start to become aware, and that changes everything.
Yeah.
So we have a Facebook group on Facebook, obviously, I Am Salt Lake Community, where I threw out that we were going to be chatting with you, and we got a question here from a listener of the show, Nicole. She wants to know who's her favorite local healer, psychic, medium, and which is her favorite spiritual bookstore. So, do you have a favorite healer, psychic, or medium?
Oh, yes. You're looking at her.
You're looking. Well, that's kind of what I was wondering. I was
Located
like, well, gosh,
right here in Salt Lake City.
Yeah, I mean, that would be you. Yes.
When I got my injury, I started going to a lot of healers and psychics.
Here in Salt Lake.
Yeah. And unfortunately, I did not find someone who was able to help me.
Yeah.
So I told you about the dream. I had this dream where someone outside Salt Lake in Hawaii, yeah, helped me. But then she told me that after I heal myself, I have to pay it forward. Start doing good things for other people. Start bringing more healing to my friends, to the community, to this city, to this planet.
Was that stressful for you, or did you feel overwhelmed by that message?
Probably felt empowered.
I felt that I didn't know how to do it because I haven't done it in the past. When I did readings as a kid, I did it more like a play, like a game. But here people started coming to me with real life disasters. Usually when they come to me, they tried everything like I did when I had my injury, and everything failed.
Yeah, you're kind of, people come to you when they have nowhere else to turn.
And it's a lot of responsibility.
What about do you have a favorite spiritual bookstore? Is there a spiritual bookstore here in Salt Lake City?
Yes.
I don't even know.
There are lots. But when I published my book and I went to the local stores, I said, hey, I'm a local author. Would you like to have my book? And all of them refused.
Really?
That's very interesting.
That's a bummer. Yeah. So I guess it goes back to get it on Amazon, right?
That is why.
Yeah.
When people come to you for things, do you ever use tarot cards?
I use gypsy cards.
Gypsy cards. What's the difference?
Gypsy cards tell you the lesson you're going through.
Okay.
So it says kind of when bad things happen, it's not to bring you down. It's not to punish you for anything. It's to show you what you're working on. And so the reading is a little bit different from tarot cards. It puts you in charge. It says, here's what you're going through and here's why.
Okay.
And when you become stronger, the lesson will disappear. There will be a different lesson.
There's always a lesson in life, you know.
But it's very good to know that it empowers people to know, hey, I'm learning something, I'm getting better, and once I get better, then this particular problem will disappear.
What advice would you give someone who wants to write a book? Like I've thought about writing a book. Mm-hmm. You know, I thought about writing a book even on Salt Lake, my adventures. What would you tell me? Any pieces of advice?
Don't write a book. Write a story.
I like that.
And then another story. And then third story. And then maybe connect them. And then add an introduction. Don't ever think about writing a book. It's too much. Yeah. It's too overwhelming. You will say, I don't have time. I don't know how. Don't say that. Don't tell yourself that. Say, I want to just write one paragraph.
So besides writing your book and all of this, what are some of your other hobbies and interests? Learn a little bit more about yourself there. Do you have any other things you enjoy doing or?
I'm a dancer.
Okay. Back to like a Russian dancer? Or?
There's a band called Huanagani.
Yeah, I'm very familiar with them. Yes.
I love them. I make bracelets that I charge with particular energy. I teach people about essential oils.
Okay.
Because they are a shortcut to health and well-being. They go into our brains within a few seconds of inhaling. So for someone who's kind of lazy and doesn't want to meditate for an hour, well,
There's a shortcut for that.
certain essential oil that allows you to get there much faster.
Which oil is that?
Frankincense.
Frankincense. That's the expensive. I think
That
that's
stuff is magic.
Didn't my mom, it's expensive.
Chris's
isn't it?
mom gave us a bottle of frankincense after we had a baby.
Yeah.
And she just said, use it sparingly, but use it because it's amazing.
My mom's big into all of that. doTERRA, is that what you do? All the commercial
Young living.
Young living.
It doesn't
same
matter
thing,
which
yeah.
one you use. What matters is that you use it.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people, I don't know. It seems like it's legit. I dig it. I don't know. Lavender helps you relax and go to sleep.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
do you play any musical instruments? You said you dance.
I try to play guitar and I sing gypsy songs, but it's not on a performance level. It's more on a...
Just for you to enjoy.
Just for yourself,
I enjoy it so much. My friends, maybe they pretend to enjoy it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, that's something that I like to do for myself. And I absolutely enjoy doing videos. I have a Facebook page where I post lots of videos just for inspiration.
What kind of video, like inspirational videos and stuff?
Yeah, I would, I do astrological updates because we are all interconnected. What we lost in this modern world is connection. Connection to our food. We eat out of a box, out of a can. We don't know our growers. Connection to our family. Most of us don't know our ancestors or don't interact with the extended family. We lost connection to our planet. We lost connection to the stars. And that's what astrology is about. It's bringing back that connection, that realization that all of us are part of a whole. All of us mean something. And the movement of the biggest planets affect us here on Earth, just like the moon affects the tide. So I'm fascinated by connection.
Sure.
Connection to everything.
Can anyone join this Facebook group?
Oh, of course.
What is the
Energy Secrets.
Energy Secrets?
Yeah, on
I'll
Facebook.
put that link up at iamsaltlake.com as well with the with this episode.
Yeah, and that's what I do there. I give the updates of what to expect when something significant is happening for all of us.
Sure.
We're all affected by these big, magnificent planets and stars.
So I always ask people that come on the podcast, favorite local eating spots, places to eat in Salt Lake. Do you have any favorite places that you like to eat at?
Rotopia.
What, Rotopia?
Rotopia.
Never even heard it. Have you heard of this, Chris?
No, where is it?
What is it? What is it?
It's on it's on
Rotopia.
Rotopia, yeah.
Yeah, Rotopia.
It used to be on High.
Yeah,
they
Omar.
just moved.
Omar.
Yeah, Omar.
Yeah. No, it's all raw
38
food.
South next to Dan's.
Yes, all raw food. I want to take you there, Chrissy.
Yeah, we should do that. Are you still on an all raw food diet?
No, but
okay.
mostly.
Yeah. Ooh, that sounds fun. Let's do that.
Yeah, no, I want to take you up there. Actually, I've talked to Omar. Gosh, I talked to him years ago about bringing him on this podcast. Some stuff kind of came up. I need to reconnect with him to bring him back on the show.
Fantastic. And in every meal, an ingredient is love.
No, beautiful place. It's been years. I haven't been to the new location. I'll take you there, Chrissy.
Yeah. Is there a favorite item that you think everyone should try?
Stir fry.
Ooh.
Oh, you love stir fry.
Raw stir fry.
Don't be fooled by...
That blows my mind.
Don't be fooled by the word raw.
Okay.
What he does there is creation of the most delicious meals. He has a pizza. He has pie. He has ice cream. He has...
Yeah, delicious.
Oh, man.
Delicious. It's been a little while since I've had it, but
I'm getting hungry right now.
Any other favorite local eating spots, or would that be the one you'd recommend?
That's the one.
we'll run down the list before we let you go, how people can get in touch with you. Anything else you want to bring up before?
If someone were to visit Salt Lake, you've been here for a while. Is there anything that you would recommend that they do?
Go hiking. Go to Crystal Hot Springs. Go to Diamond Hot Springs. Diamond Fork.
It's nice to get out and kind of feel that energy of the mountains.
Go to southern Utah. Go to the Arches, Zion, Bryce, Canyonlands.
There's a lot of beautiful nature to connect with here.
It's like going to a different planet.
Is there anything else? Is there anything on your journey that you still want to learn, that you're, striving to accomplish?
How to heal everyone.
That sounds like a good goal.
I want everyone on this planet to smile ear to ear from the time they wake up until the time they fall asleep.
I'm sure there's a lot of people that fight back, though, that don't want to be healed. They're kind of stubborn.
There's definitely the people who enjoy, it sounds terrible, but they kind of enjoy being negative and miserable.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Especially here in Salt Lake. Tons of those people here.
Like all of us, really.
And that is their choice.
Yeah, no, you can't get it. I think so often we get sucked into their negativity and then we become negative. And I'm like, no.
Well, and in all honesty, sometimes negativity can be fun. That sounds really weird. But I mean, have you run across people who you have wanted help, but kind of refused to accept happiness?
Yes. And it's okay. There is absolutely nothing wrong unless they're hurting someone. Mm-hmm. But if they're not hurting anyone, just themselves, it's okay. It's part of the learning process. They're learning who they are. Mm-hmm. And maybe that's important for this certain period of their life.
Mm.
Yeah. We all kind of go through seasons of life.
Yeah. Exactly. And, I'm not going to drag anyone into happiness.
Yeah.
No, it's your choice. I will show you the path.
So when you're ready, the Gypsy Energy Secrets are there.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. And also I answer all questions. I answer every email. I want everyone to be...
What is your email address that people can email you?
gypsysoul2014 @outlook.com.
Okay. And then it's gypsyenergysecrets.com. Mm-hmm. Do you have a Facebook page for Gypsy Energy Secrets as well?
It's just called Energy Secrets.
Energy Secrets. And again, I'll have all those links with this episode.
Yeah.
I've had a great conversation with you. Thank you so much for coming and doing the podcast and, reaching out and telling me about your book. I think it's great. I've definitely learned a little bit more about the Gypsy culture.
Yeah.
It's hopefully
inspiring
listeners,
to bring more positivity to the world.
Yes.
And I can't urge people listening right now that have any more questions to reach out to Milana.
Yes,
and,
absolutely.
Email her or Facebook, connect with her on Facebook or the Facebook group.
Yeah.
Go to Amazon and buy her book. Check it out.
Because it's my goal to help.
Sure.
That is my passion. That's what makes me happy.
I love it.
That's great.
We'll end it there. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Thank you.
You bet. All right. Many, many thanks again to Milana for coming and joining us on this episode of the podcast. What a great conversation, Chrissy.
It was really fun to learn more, to just actually hear her side.
Oh my gosh. And check out her book. Head on over to iamsaltlake.com/301 for episode 301. That's where all the links to get in touch with her, to order your copy of the book, to say hello.
Yeah. I'm sure she'd love to hear.
301 episodes. It's still weird for me to say that, Chrissy.
That's crazy. That's a lot of conversations.
I've talked to everybody in Salt Lake City. Not even close. Hey, I do want to mention that, though. If you want to come on an episode of the podcast, reach out to one of us. Reach out to Chrissy or myself. But tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yes.
Share your story, why you would bring value, why you think you would fit our audience.
What would be a good, what is your story that you want to share with the audience?
Absolutely. Maybe you're a local author like Milana. Maybe you're a musician. Maybe you're a business owner.
Yeah.
We'd love to possibly bring you on an episode of I Am Salt Lake podcast. Get in touch with us. Hey, I do want to mention, if you are listening to this before the evening of Monday, October 30th, I realize it's a short time frame. Make sure to check out, I'm going to be on Park City TV, 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Head over to parkcity.tv. You can watch it from your internet browser. It's been a couple of years.
Where TV's at nowadays.
It's been a couple of years. I don't think we were together the last time I was on Park City TV.
No, we weren't.
And that was a lot of fun to talk to Terry over there, which I want to get Terry on an episode of I Am Salt Lake. Just haven't done it yet. So if he's listening, know that
Come on
I do.
over, Terry.
Well, I have it in my mind to get him on an episode of I Am Salt Lake. I know a lot of...
he talks to a lot of cool people.
He does. Park City TV. Love those guys, though.
Yeah.
Hey, you've heard me mention them. You've heard me praise them. I want to talk about Jed's Barbershop, Chrissy. Jed's Barbershop is a proud sponsor of the podcast.
Sometimes I want to write a jingle for these guys. I want like a Jed's Barbershop.
We do. Let's write them a jingle.
Let's do it.
They have 3 locations, so you really have no reason that you're not going to always look your best. I mean, go get a haircut, a beard trim. You can get a straight razor shave, which I still have not experienced, Chrissy.
Oh, please. I mean, I'm cool with you not experiencing that, but other dudes, go for it.
One day I'll get in there for a straight razor shave. They're open 7 days a week, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m., Saturday, 9 to 7 p.m., Sunday, noon to 5 p.m. Like I said, they have 3 locations. Write these down. They're located 167 East, 900 South, right next to Randy's Records. You're not going to miss them. They also have a location downtown, 212 South, 700 East, really close to Sprouts there. And then also up in Sugar House, 2153 East, 2100 South. It's going to be out by Blue Plate Diner. No appointment is necessary. Head on over to jedsbarbershop.com for more information. All right, that's going to do it for this episode of the podcast. Don't forget to head on over to our website, iamsaltlake.com. Subscribe to the podcast. That way you don't miss a single episode. We're here every week with a brand new episode showcasing somebody really awesome here in Salt Lake City. So you're not going to want to miss their story. And while you're out on the website, make sure to sign up for that email list.
Yeah, get some freebies.
Hey, you guys have a great week. Get out and enjoy the city. Go for a walk in your neighborhood. High five a stranger. And we'll see you on the next episode.
Good night, Grammy.